We speak of holding the violin, but the word hold is already misleading, because when we think of holding an object, we think of holding onto it, holding fast onto it, not letting it escape. But that is a completely false conception of holding the violin. In holding the violin, we must not allow any such gripping to take place. It must be a matter of balance, of flexibility, and finally, when we apply effort or strength, it is only on the top, above the mastery of balance and flexibility, as we did with the bow. There is actually no fixed support for the violin, except when it lies on the collarbone, and no hold of the violin which must prevent its free motion, its adjustment to the stroke of the right hand, to the action of the fingers, to the sway of the body, to the sway and motion of the head, to the action of the shoulder. In fact, the first common faults are that, not wanting it to drop, fearing lest it may fall, we want to put something underneath it. We want to put a shoulder underneath it, and of course, as this is not in balance, we clutch down with our heads to keep it from falling. And again, we hold on to it with our hands, or put our thumb underneath it. These are all wrong, because we must leave our shoulder free, and we must be well above the string so that we can move along the whole length of the fingerboard. We must have flexibility in all the joints. We must have freedom of the elbow. Perhaps little Karen, who has had almost no experience in holding the violin, might show us what the first reactions are. These are the difficulties. Karen is trying to hold the violin with her hands, and she has no freedom that way. Her fingers are almost out of commission and touching each other. She couldn't possibly come way up the fingerboard in that position. Try to move up and down the fingerboard, Karen. You see, she has to move like an earthworm, one part after the other. There is no freedom there. The elbow is either leaning back on the side of the body or leaning out from the body instead of in and up. And of course, the hold of the violin under the chin is not quite right either. She has therefore no freedom of action on the violin and has no balance as yet. I'm sorry, Karen, do sit down. I'm sorry to point out all your faults, but they are perfectly natural ones and should merely be corrected already at your stage of beginning. I don't usually play a plastic violin.